Hi, what's up? Welcome to Sit Down. I'm DJ Sixsmith. Julie Pennell is here with us. Louisiana Lucky, a brand new book coming out in early August. Julie, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
You got it. So it's one thing to write a book. This is now your second book, which is a major deal. And this goes into the land of sisters who have won the lottery. We've all thought about winning the lottery. You've written a little bit about people dabbling with the lottery before. What was it like writing this book?
Yeah, it was super fun. I mean, I feel like everybody has dreamed of winning an obscene amount of money. And I thought, like, what a fun way to, bring this to life and make it a book. And yeah, so my first novel, The Young Wives Club, had a small plot line about somebody winning a little bit of money in a scratch off. And so that's kind of what inspired this. I had so much fun writing that I thought, let's make it bigger and more money. So
Yeah, definitely a lot more money here with over 200 million. So what's most fascinating in terms of like when people get a big sum of money, how it goes with family, how it goes in their lives, like what really piqued your interest when it comes to this amount of money and the impact on a person's life?
yeah, so I think, you hear so many horror stories about people winning a lot of money and like how their lives just kind of crumble. And I didn't want that kind of like depressing story to happen, but I did want to touch on the reality of, winning a lot of money. So you have the fun parts in this book about, you have your makeover scenes and your shopping sprees, but you also have some reality of like, does money actually solve all the problems, or does it create some problems of their own? So it was just kind of fun to play with that.
And also playing with the concept of people just getting by and then going into life-altering money and not realizing new problems that are going to come. Because when we're in our everyday lives, we think there's certain issues that just suck and we don't want to deal with them. Then you get money and it's like it's a whole new ball of wax. So
Right.
what was it like just finessing the people just barely getting by and now a whole lot of money in their life?
Yeah, there was a definite contrast. These sisters are all very down on their luck. They're living paycheck to paycheck, and like one of them doesn't even have enough money to get gas, in her car. And so when they win, they think that everything is going to be different. And, so one of them, Lexi, is the youngest, and she wants to have a big Hollywood style wedding to kind of impress her in-laws and also impress all of the people in the community. And then Callie is our middle sister, and she works at a newspaper, and she kind of uses the money to like go after her career dreams and get the confidence to find love. And then Hannah's the oldest, and she yearns to give her kids, her two young kids, everything that she didn't have when she was growing up. So they all figure out, they think the material things that they buy are going to change their lives. And then in reality, in the end, the question is like, what is it that truly makes you rich? Is it actual material things and money, or is it love and family and giving to others?
Yeah, those things end up lasting a lot longer. The material things can just be pretty fleeting, but a lot of people put a huge amount of stock in those things. And I wonder also, because you grew up in Louisiana, like that's the backdrop of the story.
Yeah.
How much does environment play a factor in the storyline in general here?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Louisiana, and I lived there through college. So the state has just a very special place in my heart. And I always feel like it's like such a magical place. I love going back and visiting the culture and just like even the sights and smells of, the cooking and all of that. And I really wanted to be transported back to that place when I chose to write this book. You can pick wherever you want to go. And also, like, I feel like you have to write what you know, and I definitely know Louisiana, and I hope that I give it an authentic characterization of, the state that I love. So, yeah.
What was the hardest part about writing another book?
The first page. I feel
Because you have the whole story, but then you're like, how do I actually start this story?
right. Yeah. I definitely Googled again, like how do you write a book? How do you write a novel? Because you kind of like get on that first page and, the cursor is just standing there and you're like, okay, we got to start all over again. So that was definitely the most challenging part, is diving back in. but then once you get into it, it's easier.
How long did everything end up taking?
About 3 years from start of development to the end of where we are right now.
And then how does that compare to the first book in terms of time?
Same exact, like around the same exact time. So
yeah, I don't think enough people realize that. They're just like, hey, I want to write a book, and then they don't really understand. Like, not only does the story take time, but there's a whole lot else involved, and you know that firsthand. So
I'm definitely, I feel like I'm like a medium, you know, because some people can do it like one a year, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, how do you guys do that? But then other people, you know, sometimes it'll take like 15 years to write a first novel. So it's just, you know, doing at your own pace. I feel like that's the biggest thing, is just do it at your own pace. Don't rush it. And yeah.
What's your favorite writing spot for when you're writing a novel?
So I'm so boring. I just like sit right here on my couch, sit at the dining table, sit in my bed. I've written at coffee shops before just to kind of get away. I have 2 kids. I have a toddler and a newborn right now. So sometimes I have to get away from the kids and I go to a coffee shop, but then I just find myself eavesdropping on people's conversations, and it's not very productive, but
There's a lot of people watching that goes on at coffee shops.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm sure as you're writing this, you're wondering in your own mind, what would I buy if I won the lottery? What are some of the things that would be at the top of your list?
Yeah, so that is something that I hope that people will think of and fantasize about whenever they're reading this book. And a lot of people have said that, you know, what would you buy? So, you know, right now I'm living in an apartment in the city with my 2 kids, and I fantasize about having an actual like big house with a backyard that they can run around, especially in these times of quarantine. I also dream about owning, my sister and I, my older sister, she's 7 years older than me, and we always talk about owning like a shop of some sort, like a bookshop cafe. She's really into like sewing and crocheting, and she always wants to like teach people how to do that, like, you know, sip and sew kind of place. So that would be really fun too, you know, and like give it to charity.
A little later, but let me take care of me and my family first.
I mean, that's the, you know, I feel like everybody's gonna say that, so yes, of course, that as well.
Definitely. So we were talking off camera, just there's a lot going on in the world right now. And for people who read a lot of nonfiction, maybe it's time to escape to fiction. What do you hope people gain from your book, whether they read it now, they read it 6 months from now? What's most important to you when people check it out?
Yeah, I think that this is a fun escape. Like I said, I think that people will fantasize for their own lives about what will, you know, what would bring happiness to them with the money that they won if they did win. And I also think and hope that it will ignite some self-discovery into what it is that truly makes us lucky in our own lives. So is it money? Is it material things? Or like I said before, is it family, friends, the people that you have, things like that.
Lots to chew on with this one. Louisiana Lucky, Pennell. Thanks so much for joining us. Stay safe. Best of luck with everything, all right?
Thank you.